In William, scientists Julian and Barbara use old Neanderthal DNA to bring William to life. They face many problems and finally succeed. As William grows up, he has a hard time fitting in and faces trouble. Keep watching to know what happens next. The movie started with a scientist named Julian teaching his students about Neanderthal, an extinct human species. Some time ago, a Neanderthal skeleton was found, and it was named William. Julian suggested that they could use William's DNA to create another Neanderthal. Barbara, a scientist in medicine and biotechnology, liked Julian's idea. After class, she met Julian at a restaurant to discuss the possibility of cloning William. Though challenging, Barbara believed it could be done. Barbara then asked Julian why he was so interested in Neanderthals. Julian took her to his lab and showed her two stones, one carved by Homo sapiens and the other by Neanderthals. He explained that the Neanderthals' stone had many uses, cutting and providing support, which showed they were stronger and smarter than ordinary humans. Julian believed that if they could bring Neanderthals back, it'd greatly benefit the modern world. After hearing this, Barbara felt even more determined to clone William. She asked Julian to help with the project, and they got permission from the university to proceed. They began working on William's cloning, spending a lot of time together in the lab. As time passed, they grew closer and developed feelings for each other. However, their project kept failing, and they faced new difficulties every day. Because of this, the university head, Bob, ordered them to stop, saying it was wasting resources and time. This decision made them sad, since they had invested so much effort into the project. After a few days of sadness, Barbara focused on the project again, finding their mistakes. She suggested to Julian that they continue the research on their own. They resumed their work and finally succeeded in creating a Neanderthal embryo. However, they faced another challenge: how to remove the embryo from the lab. Barbara volunteered to carry the embryo herself. After implanting it in her womb, they secretly took it out of the lab and the university. Soon after, Julian and Barbara got married. A few months after their marriage, it was time for Barbara to give birth. Fortunately, she delivered a healthy baby boy, and they named him William. The baby was a Neanderthal since he was created using Neanderthal DNA. Julian informed the university heads about their successful experiment, revealing that a Neanderthal had been born in the present day. Upon hearing this, the head became furious, as he hadn't expected Julian to continue the project secretly. The scene then shifted to Julian holding a press conference without the university's permission. During the conference, he announced that they had successfully brought a Neanderthal into the world and showed photos of the Neanderthal. Julian also mentioned that while he wasn't William's biological father, he would proudly take on the role of a father, ensuring William's success, happiness, and future. Years later, the scene showed William grown up with a face that was distinct and unique. Compared to ordinary people, Barbara brought William to a new house near a forest. It was Julian's house, where she came to leave him. Barbara hugged William and told him he could return to her anytime he wanted. Then, she left, and William entered Julian's house. As William looked around, he met a girl named Sarah, who was Julian's girlfriend and would be living with them. While they were eating, Sarah noticed that William ate in a different way, much faster, as if he were very hungry. Julian explained to her that Neanderthals needed more energy than ordinary people. Later that night, Julian told William that he was proud of him for understanding the human world better than they had expected, and encouraged him to keep trying. The next morning, Sarah also began teaching William, helping him learn the human language to understand people better. Then, Julian was shown in his class, explaining how people reacted negatively when William was first born, as many were against cloning. However, William had several advantages over ordinary humans, including 2% higher intelligence and a 20% stronger immune system. As Julian continued his lecture, the scene shifted to the past, revealing Julian and Barbara's personal life. We learned that they used to talk, but their divorce happened because of William. Julian wanted to experiment on William, seeing him as a test subject due to his Neanderthal origins, but Barbara didn't agree because William was her son, and she had given birth to him. Barbara couldn't see her son as a test subject, and that was the main reason for her and Julian's divorce. After their separation, Barbara took custody of William and raised him alone. Julian visited sometimes, amazed at how quickly William adapted to his surroundings. However, as William grew older, began to face problems in his daily life. One day, on his way home from school, some classmates chased William to bully him. Even though William was smarter than most, he wasn't as socially savvy, so he got scared and rode his bicycle away quickly. Unfortunately, he lost control, and his bike crashed, causing an accident that injured 3 kids chasing him. They blamed William, leading him to the police station. Luckily, police dismissed it as just a fight between kids, but William still felt guilty, thinking he had embarrassed his mom. At home, William searched the internet about Neanderthals and discovered they were often called merciless and foolish cave dwellers. This made him feel very sad. Time passed, and William, now a teenager, took his college admission test. His excess energy caused him to break his pencil multiple times, which frustrated him. After the test, he met his friend Judy, who invited him to her house for drama practice since he was participating in the upcoming annual function. William politely declined, saying he had already made camping plans with friends, but promised to come to her house the next day for a long practice session. Afterward, William went camping with his friends, where they were enjoying themselves and eventually met a couple. William's friend accidentally told the couple that William wasn't an ordinary human, but a Neanderthal. Hearing this, the couple became excited and started asking William many questions. The girl then asked William how he would feel if he had the chance to go back in time, to live among people like him in an environment that matched his own. She wondered if he would like to go there. Without any hesitation, William said yes, because he wanted to learn more about himself. Later, after practicing drama with Judy, William finally performed in front of everyone. At the end of the drama, he and Judy got closer, but suddenly, William felt uneasy and ran away. He realized that getting close to someone felt much harder for him than it seemed for humans, possibly because they came from different backgrounds. He didn't know how to explain to Judy how much he loved her. Meanwhile, William and Barbara visited a consultant who explained that William needed a lot of guidance because his success rate wasn't promising. The consultant emphasized that if they wanted him to have a good future, he required extra care and attention. Barbara decided that William should start working soon. Julian disagreed. He wanted William to finish his graduation first. This disagreement led to a fight between them. Consultant suggested they avoid arguing, reminding them that William would turn 18 in a few years, and then he would be able to make his own decisions. They went home and talked to William about making a careful decision. Later, William went out with his friends, and they discussed their university admissions. One of William's friends mentioned that Judy had been admitted to Columbia University, which made William feel sad. When William returned home, he saw his parents arguing about his custody. Barbara didn't want her son to be used as a test subject, but Julian persuaded her. He said that if William helped with his research, he could benefit many people by using his strong immune system to save lives. Julian promised to help William get into the university of his choice, prepare him for the tests, and support him financially. William agreed to stay with Julian. In the present, William was with Julian and Sarah. Despite their hard work, William failed all the tests. Julian was very upset and scolded both William and Sarah, blaming her for not teaching him well. After Julian left, Sarah comforted William. She took him to the forest to cheer him up and told him not to be discouraged. She shared that her own parents had high expectations for her, but she struggled with her studies because her interests were different. She asked William if he had any interest. During their conversation, Sarah discovered that William enjoyed singing. As they spent more time together, they grew closer, and Sarah started to have feelings for him. However, William didn't want to fall in love again because he found it difficult. Sarah helped William prepare for his test and took him to the university herself. She seemed happier, possibly because she realized she liked William. She told him to wait for her, saying she would pick him up soon, but William was distant and cold that day. When William took the exam, he faced old problems. He broke many pencils while filling out the paper and felt nervous in the new environment. Frustrated, he left the exam early. Outside, people laughed at him and took pictures because of his unusual appearance and behavior, which upset him. Feeling distressed, William visited his doctor. The doctor shared his story to calm him and showed him a preserved Neanderthal in his lab, explaining that William was created from its DNA and genes. William realized he was neither a complete Neanderthal nor a complete human. Meanwhile, Sarah was waiting outside the university, worried because William hadn't come out yet, even though the exam was over. She eventually called Barbara for help. They set out to find William, who had secretly entered Julian's class, where Julian was still lecturing about Neanderthal. As Julian was about to explain to his students how William's cloning would benefit people in the future, William stood up and announced that nothing good would come from it. He said that his father had failed because William did not meet his expectations. Julian, trying to silence him, asked if he had failed again. William confirmed it and then left. Julian quickly followed him, realizing he had unintentionally hurt William. Before Julian could explain, William turned and punched him, saying he had the courage to do this because he knew Julian was not his real father. A fight broke out between them, which was stopped by others. Some people called the police to break up the fight. To avoid the police, William fled. Sarah and Barbara were searching for William, while the police also searched the area. Suddenly, Sarah spotted William. Before she could reach him, a police officer attacked and killed him while William was trying to escape. Sarah was devastated because she had developed feelings for William. Everyone who knew William was deeply saddened by his death. In the final scene, Barbara visited the place where she had found the Neanderthal body. There, she held a baby similar to William. This baby was William's child, a hybrid of Homo sapiens and Neanderthal.